This is Valley News Live at 10.
Good Saturday evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with breaking news out of Wahpeton. Investigators are trying to figure out what led to a house fire. Crews battled flames on the second floor around 7 tonight. No one was hurt. Still no word on the damage or the cause. And more help is on the way for the American people. After pulling an all-nighter, the Senate today passed the $1.9 trillion COVID relief package. It passed 50 to 49. NBC's Chris Pallone tells us what comes next.
The bill as amended is passed.
Senate Democrats let out a cheer after passing their $1.9 trillion COVID relief bill. President Joe Biden praising party leaders for working out internal disagreements to prevail by just one vote on the package, which the White House says will provide financial relief for wide swaths of the nation's ailing economy.
This plan puts us on a path to beating the virus. This plan gives those families who are struggling the most the help and the breathing room they need to get through this moment. This plan gives small businesses in this country a fighting chance to survive.
The bill calls for $1,400 in direct payments for most Americans, extends $300 a week federal unemployment benefits into September, and provides aid to cash-strapped state and local governments. Throughout debate, the Democratic coalition in danger of splitting between progressives and moderates. But changes to the unemployment provision and eligibility for stimulus payments brought all Democrats back on board.
Unity, unity, unity. That's how we got this done.
Despite having broad support in public opinion polls, the bill passed without a single Republican vote. Opponents say the package is too expensive, especially with the economy already on the upswing.
Democrats' response is to ram through what they call, quote, the most progressive domestic legislation in a generation on a razor-thin majority in both houses. The right path was obvious. We followed it 5 times last year.
But the president campaigned on pulling the nation out of the pandemic and easing Americans' financial struggles from it.
I promised the American people that help was on the way. Today, I can say we've taken one more giant step forward in delivering on that promise that help is on the way.
The bill now goes back to the House with a final vote likely on Tuesday. Chris Pallone, NBC News.
If the bill passes the House again and is signed by the president, those stimulus payments could start to go out within the next 2 weeks. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz will be delivering his third State of the State address this month. In an announcement, he says it will be from his former social studies classroom at Mankato West High School, Sunday, March 21st at 6 p.m. With the temperatures warming up in the valley, officials want to remind you to use caution when getting out on the ice. Here's a photo from the Traverse County Sheriff's Office. They posted it to their Facebook this morning. Crews had to be called out to pull out a vehicle that went through the ice. And we should know more soon. 2 people are dead after a head-on crash in north-central North Dakota, and now authorities say criminal charges are possible. It happened Thursday afternoon in McHenry County. Troopers say the driver of a pickup pulled into the opposite lane to pass a semi, then hit a minivan head-on. The minivan rolled into the ditch, killing a 49-year-old woman and her 55-year-old passenger. The 29-year-old driver of the pickup from Harvey was flown to a Minot hospital. Names will not be released until the family is notified. And an assistant principal at West Fargo Cheyenne High School is apologizing to parents and students after being charged with a DUI. In an email sent to students and families, Nathan Sliker says he failed as a father, teacher, and leader of the school. To read his full statement, head to our website, valleynewslive.com, and click on this story. The Minnesota Court of Appeals has ruled in favor of allowing the prosecution to add back a third-degree murder charge against former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin. Chauvin's trial on the charges of second-degree murder and manslaughter in the death of George Floyd starts Monday. The defense will now have an opportunity to appeal the decision to the state Supreme Court. If that happens, it's possible the trial could be delayed. A Minnesota woman is asking for some courtesy on the road after she was seriously hurt while riding her horse. Katie Nolte was riding along State Highway 108 in rural Henning when she says a car came around a corner full throttle, spooking her horse. She says she fell into the ditch and her horse fell on top of her. breaking her lower leg in 2 separate places. She had surgery Wednesday, but it's going to be a few weeks before she's back on the saddle. Now, riders have the right of way on Minnesota roads, so you're required to yield to them the same way you would a runner or a biker.
The difference between someone riding a bike and someone riding a horse is this is 1,200 pounds of its own mind. You know, he thinks for himself, he moves for himself, and if you startle him, it could have been so much worse.
Katie says her horse was a little sore and scared, but he's back to his normal self now. In-person graduations are back on the menu for NDSU, who announced earlier this week that they'll have in-person commencement at the Fargo Dome. There won't be a full capacity crowd. Valley News Team's Aaron Walling breaks down the Bison's plans for the upcoming spring.
And what was a tumultuous 2020 for many institutions, a bright spot is coming to NDSU in May. Earlier this week, the university announced that they'll be having an in-person commencement at the Fargo Dome.
This is a celebration. This is the culmination of the 4 or 5 years, maybe even for some folks a little longer. And this is the point in time where the students can realize and all the hard work that they've done.
NDSU Registrar Phil Hunt says it's important to give these students a chance to walk across the stage.
And the parents can see the fruit of their investment, right? The love and care and money that they put in to their student to be able to earn an NDSU degree.
NDSU laid out these guidelines for the upcoming event. Face coverings will be mandatory. Students are limited to 4 guests. Students must RSVP for the ceremony and pick up a participation card, and doctoral students will not be hooded on stage.
I'm here with the students, you know, and it's going to be a time for all of us to celebrate their accomplishments. But at the same time, remember that we still have to be diligent, which is why we're taking the steps that we're taking during the graduation ceremony to keep our participants and our guests safe.
A ceremony will be streamed online for those that cannot attend. In Fargo, Aaron Walling, Valley News Live.
You can find this story on our homepage, visit our website, valleynewslive.com, or download the VNL News app. The FDA is promising to work harder to help keep toxic metals out of baby food. This as a report revealed an unacceptably high level of toxins such as mercury and lead in several baby products. The FDA has not set a minimum level for heavy metals in most infant food. Heads up, Fargo drivers. Starting Monday, crews will be trimming trees on the south side of 4th Avenue North from 10th Street to Broadway. The eastbound lane will be closed, but it's expected to open up by the end of the day. 1 year later, pandemic travel vouchers are about to expire if they haven't already. If you haven't used yours yet, you might not be totally out of luck. That's later on Valley News Live at 10. But first, we'll get a check of your forecast with meteorologist Nathan Hopper right after this.